So the time right now is about 11:50 a.m. I saw Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen at 12:05 a.m. I'm doing this review less than 12 hours after seeing the movie. And where to start? Well, let me tell you why this is one of the worst movies I've seen so far this year. This review is going to have a lot of spoilers, so if you don't want to hear anything about the movie, click something else. But if you want to save money and hear all the problems I had with this film, keep on watching. I was born in 1988. I didn't grow up with the cartoon or the first animated movie. And then when I heard back in 2006 or whatever, when the first Transformers movie was coming out, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I saw trailers, and the trailers looked awesome. Saw the movie. It wasn't fantastic. So then 2 years later, when Revenge of the Fallen comes out, everyone sees the trailers. Everyone sees the trailers highlighting Megan Fox's, whatever you want to call it, and cool cars and explosions. Everything that pretty much the first movie had. But again, everyone was like, oh yeah, that's going to be great. And what we got was the opposite of great. So the movie starts off, the Autobots have teamed up with the US military in a group called Nest to hunt out all the Decepticons around the world. Why the United States is the only government responsible for doing this, I'm not sure. First of all, the title, Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. I think it could have been called just Transformers 2, because I'm not a huge fan of subtitles, but what I was interpreting when hearing that title, I heard that title announced last June or May, whenever it was, and I was like, oh, Revenge of the Fallen, that means Megatron, because he fell in the first movie and he got put into the Pacific Ocean. So he fell to the bottom of the ocean, so he's obviously the Fallen. He's gonna get his revenge. But nope, there is actually a character named the Fallen, and he's going to get his personal revenge on the Autobots. And the movie feels like it needs to dedicate pretty much 40 minutes to this Fallen character and why he needs his pointless revenge. I didn't get it. Then there was this other disciple guy who I think was a Decepticon, and he wanted to see the last Prime alive, which was Optimus. And then once he did, he died, or was fine with giving Optimus all of his parts so Optimus could live. But I don't know if he was bad or whatever. But anyway, what I was saying about it was pretty much like the first movie over. I mean, in the cartoon, I was talking to my friends about it. In the cartoon, from what I've seen, I don't know if there were ever any humans interacting with any of the Transformers. If anyone knows, please enlighten me, because I'm not sure. So when the first movie came out, when they were looking for a script to have humans interact with the bots, it was, oh, let's make this cube, and whatever this cube touches will turn into a Transformer, and this kid somehow gets the cube because his grandfather discovered it in Alaska, or wherever he went. So in this one, Shia LaBeouf's character, Sam Witwicky, he finds that piece of that cube that we thought was destroyed is on his clothes, like it's stuck to his shirt or jacket or something. And there's also a piece of it in this base. It's being protected by a single solitary metal door. But that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And of course the Decepticons find the location of that cube part and get it and bring Megatron back to life. What Sam fails to realize is that as soon as he touches that little piece of the cube that he had, he starts seeing these weird images, and anything that touches turns into a transformer, which pretty much happens at the beginning of the movie. He finds the thing, and it burns through his house and makes its way down to the kitchen. And then everything in the kitchen that has batteries or is like an electrical appliance comes to life. Vacuums, coffee blenders, some other stupid crap. There's a toy truck that comes to life and has these really stupid one-liners. And one of the biggest problems I saw with this movie is all the friggin' Transformers it felt like X-Men 3, where the mutants were bringing in, the bad mutants were bringing in all these mutants, like the dudes with the spikes coming out of his face. But it was just showing like, oh look, we can have this guy with spikes in his face, we can have this girl run really fast, we can have the Juggernaut, he's really strong. It felt like that, like all of these Autobots and Decepticons came out of nowhere just to show us like what they can do. But the thing about Transformers is they're all giant metal robots, and that's it. They don't like each have individual powers. Like, okay, Starscream is a jet, he can fly. Optimus Prime is a truck, he can not fly. And all of the Autobots were like cars and motorcycles, so they're all on land. And the Decepticons are like giant machinery and planes, which would seem better because they're heavier and they would be faster, or I don't know what my logic is there. The big two Autobots named the twins, Mudflaps and Skids. If you are a black person and you're sick of stereotypes already, I don't recommend going to see this film, because you will see Transformers, you will see metal robots pretty much destroying your race. One of them had a gold tooth. They have buck teeth. One of them had a gold tooth and ears pointing out to the side. And they would call each other things like punk ass bitch. And they would call each other pussies. And they would constantly be fighting for whatever reason. It's never made clear why they're there or why they are fighting each other, even though they're friends or siblings, whatever. So yeah, that was really friggin' stupid. And then at one point, if you've seen the commercials, that giant Transformer that sucks up everything like the sand and stuff, he almost kills one of the twins. And I was really happy that one of those things was going to die. But no, I was let down, and if you know what if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. The people that I saw the movie with, not talking about my friends, I'm talking about the whole audience in general, Jailbait and the typical high school douchebag. When Megan Fox first appeared in that shot of her straddling the motorcycle, which we had all seen in the trailer already, there were dudes howling at the screen. I thought those days were gone. And I can get over the fact that she's hot. She's not that great of an actress. Although I do give her credit. She did do better in this one than the first one. But overall, I don't see a reason why she's in the movie at all. Besides eye candy, she doesn't really play a part. I mean, she is the love interest of the main character. But then again, why does there need to be a main character like Shia LaBeouf? Why are there humans in this at all? So, and other characters that really pissed me off, John Turturro's character wasn't as annoying this time around. Some of the little things that he does, like in the first one he had the Sector 7 wife beater on. In this one he's wearing a jockstrap, and you see some ass. His ass. Shia LaBeouf's roommate, whose name was Leo, I don't remember the guy's real name, really got annoying to me. And in one scene, John Turturro uses a taser on him, saying, I can't take much more of this kid. And I felt the exact same way, except I wanted to taser myself out of the movie. I was drifting off in the second act. The first and third act of the movie, they flow pretty well. But the second part, where they start going to Egypt and they meet this really old Transformer, the running time was, I think, 2 hours, 27 minutes. I'm probably wrong, but it was longer than the first one. It definitely felt longer than the first one. I remember seeing the first one and drifting off a little bit, but this one I almost fell asleep completely. I mean, I don't know if that has to do with the midnight showing. I mean, I've seen plenty of movies at midnight and have never fallen asleep during any of them. 300, Spider-Man 3, Harry Potter, Dark Knight. I did like the inclusion of Sam's parents more. They did bring comic relief. A lot of it was corny. A lot of it was corny, but they were pretty funny. If you like seeing dogs hunt, you'll probably get a kick out of that. But I'm trying to think, because the first movie had like a masturbation joke, and I would think that a lot of kids would be going to see this flick, because I know last year Optimus Prime and Bumblebee costumes were one of the highest selling things for Halloween, because at my house I saw tons of friggin' kids in Optimus Prime and Bumblebee costumes coming. I'm trying to think, in this movie they really push it, they really push the PG-13, because there is almost sex, there is profanity, such as shit and pussy ass bitch, there is pot. Sam's mom eats a pot brownie when they're going to bring Sam to college. There may be 7 to 10 jokes about testicles, with characters saying, "Oh, my nuts, oh, landed on my balls, oh." And then one of the big Transformers actually has 2 giant swinging, like, wrecking balls dangling, and John Turturro's character refers to it as the Transformer's scrotum. Why a Transformer would have a scrotum? You tell me, world. So all in all, I didn't really enjoy the movie. I was really disappointed. But not being a huge fan, I'll be okay. I'll get over it. So parents, I'm warning you right now, if you do not want your kids to be exposed to language and marijuana jokes and jokes about testicles, do not bring them to see this film, because they're going to get all that. I mean, I know it's PG-13, it's not PG, of course it wouldn't be PG. But, you know, PG-13 is what they try to put on all movies to get the most box office, so I understand. And don't get me wrong, this movie is going to make so much money. I'm guessing for the Wednesday through Sunday weekend, at least 100 mil, if not 125. But it really doesn't deserve it. With Michael Bay, he's known for his high action sequences and explosions and stuff like that. And that's all fine, but, I mean, with this movie, it seemed like there was no story, and every time there was an action scene, like when 2 giant metal robots tackle each other and fall into stuff, we get it. That's going to be destroyed. But when that happens over and over and over and over again, it kind of loses its meaning, or whatever they're going for. I give the movie a C-. I had read reviews previously, like on JoeBlow.com. Jenna Bush gave it 2 out of 10. What was the point of those twins? Seriously. What were they thinking? I'm going a little video game nerd on that. What were they thinking? I don't know. To me, it would just seem that Transformers should be all about robots beating each other's ass. Humans shouldn't be involved, but they are. And this is what we get. So thank you, Michael Bay. Thank you, executive producer Steven Spielberg. I can't believe you didn't see any problems with this. But MTV did their job. MTV marketed this movie. I remember all the commercials on MTV in 2007, right before the MTV Movie Awards for the first Transformers. The whole pre-show was all Transformers stuff with the cars. and whatnot. And then when Michael Bay won the award for most anticipated movie of the summer, and he said, "Oh, tomorrow we're starting production on Transformers 2." I was like, "All right, I can't wait." But then I realized that this is exactly what this movie is targeted to, the MTV audience. And it showed with the audience that I had at my theater. Maybe one day I'll watch it again and appreciate it more when I'm fully awake. Or maybe it'll just put me to sleep again. Which I'm not sure that's what movies are going for. But I think I'm going to entitle this series now, Why It Sucks. If you have a movie that has been released, is coming out, or is in theaters right now, and you think it's absolutely atrocious, leave a comment or video response, doing your own little review. If it's a movie, I don't feel like spending a bunch of money going to theaters and seeing crappy movies, but if you have a crappy movie that's on DVD now, let me know. I will give it a view, and I will review it for you personally, because I love you, like you. Yeah, I don't know if it's love yet. It's too soon to tell. Could be love, but as of right now, I just like you a lot. So, yeah, if you have any movie that you want to see reviewed, just leave me a comment or a video response, and I will get to it as soon as possible. That sounds like a message on an answering machine, but it's true. So I will see you next time with another episode of Why It Sucks. I'm Matt Fiedler. Do not see Transformers 2.